Have you ever wondered why some days you can move mountains, while other days you can barely get out of bed? The answer lies in something we all experience but rarely understand deeply: the connection between motivation and performance. Think about the last time you felt truly excited about a project or goal. Remember how effortlessly you worked, how creative your solutions were, and how time seemed to fly by? That wasn't luck. That was motivation driving your performance to new heights. Today we're going to explore exactly how motivation impacts what you can achieve and why staying motivated isn't just feel-good advice, it's a performance strategy. By the end of this video, you'll understand the science behind this connection and have practical ways to use motivation as your secret weapon for better results. Let's start with a simple question: what exactly happens in your brain when you're motivated? When researchers study motivation and performance, they consistently find something fascinating. People who maintain higher levels of motivation don't just feel better about their work, they actually produce measurably better results. But before we dive into the how, let's understand what motivation really is. Motivation is the driving force that pushes you toward action. It's what gets you started on a task and keeps you going when things get difficult. Think of it as the fuel in your performance engine. Without fuel, even the most powerful car won't move. Without motivation, even the most skilled person will struggle to reach their potential. Now here's where it gets interesting. Motivation affects performance in three key ways. First, motivation increases your focus and attention. When you're motivated to achieve something, your brain literally filters out distractions more effectively. Studies show that motivated individuals can maintain concentration for longer periods and are less likely to be interrupted by irrelevant thoughts. Second, motivation boosts your persistence and resilience. This might be the most important connection between motivation and performance. When you hit obstacles and motivation determines whether you push through or give up. Research from Stanford University found that students who were highly motivated to master a subject spent 40% more time working through difficult problems. They didn't just try harder, they tried longer. And that extra effort translated directly into better performance and deeper understanding. Think about learning to ride a bike as a kid. The motivation to experience that freedom kept you getting back on despite the falls and scraped knees. Without that motivation, you probably would have quit after the first tumble. Third, motivation enhances your creativity and problem-solving abilities. When you're motivated, your brain operates differently. You are more willing to experiment, take calculated risks, and think outside conventional boundaries. A study by Teresa Amabile at Harvard Business School tracked creative professionals for several months. She found that people produced their most innovative work on days when they felt most motivated about their projects. The connection wasn't just correlation, motivation was actually driving the creative process. But here's a crucial point: not all motivation is created equal. There are two types of motivation, and understanding the difference is key to maximizing your performance. External motivation comes from outside rewards or pressures. This includes things like money, recognition, deadlines, or avoiding punishment. External motivation can be powerful in the short term. It can get you moving when you're stuck and help you meet immediate goals. But it has limitations for long-term performance. Internal motivation comes from within. This includes personal satisfaction, growth, purpose, and genuine interest in the work itself. Internal motivation is like a renewable energy source, it doesn't run out the same way external motivation does. People driven by internal motivation tend to maintain higher performance levels over longer periods. They're also more likely to innovate and go beyond the minimum requirements. The most effective approach combines both types. Use external motivation to get started and create momentum. Use internal motivation to sustain high performance over time. Now let's talk about the barriers that can break this motivation-performance connection. The first barrier is unclear goals. When you don't know exactly what you're working toward, it's nearly impossible to maintain motivation. Vague goals like, do better, or, improve performance, don't give your brain the clear target it needs. Instead, set specific, measurable goals that you can track and celebrate. The second barrier is lack of progress feedback. Motivation feeds on progress. When you can see that you are moving forward, even in small ways, it fuels your desire to continue. But when you can't measure your progress, motivation slowly dies. Build regular check-ins and progress markers into whatever you're working on. Break large goals into smaller, manageable steps that feel achievable. The third barrier is overwhelming complexity. When a task feels too big or complicated, motivation shuts down as a protection mechanism. Your brain essentially says, "This is impossible," and stops trying. The fourth barrier is disconnection from purpose. When you can't see how your work connects to something meaningful, motivation becomes hard to maintain. This doesn't mean every task has to change the world. But you need to understand how what you are doing fits into a larger picture that matters to you. Let me give you 5 practical strategies to maintain high motivation and boost your performance. Strategy 1 is to connect your work to your values. Take a few minutes to identify what really matters to you. Maybe it's helping others, creating something beautiful, solving problems, or providing for your family. Then draw clear lines between your daily tasks and these deeper values. When you can see how filing reports helps you provide for your family or how improving a process helps your team succeed, motivation becomes much easier to maintain. Strategy 2 is to create small wins regularly. Don't wait for major milestones to celebrate progress. Build mini achievements into your work that you can recognize and feel good about. Maybe it's completing a certain number of tasks, learning a new skill, or helping a colleague. These small wins create positive momentum that feeds motivation. Strategy 3 is to track your progress visually. Use charts, checklists, or apps that let you see your advancement over time. There's something powerful about watching a progress bar fill up or checking items off a list. It makes abstract progress concrete and gives you regular motivation boosts. Strategy 4 is to surround yourself with motivated people. Motivation is contagious. When you spend time with people who are excited about their work and goals, it rubs off on you. Seek out colleagues, friends, or mentors who inspire you to perform at your best. Strategy 5 is to regularly remind yourself why you started. Write down the reasons you chose your current path or project. Keep this list somewhere you'll see it regularly. When motivation dips, reading your original reasons can reignite that initial spark. Here's something important to understand: motivation isn't a constant state. It naturally goes up and down. The key is developing systems that help you manage these fluctuations rather than being at their mercy. Your motivated performance inspires others, which creates an environment where high performance becomes the norm rather than the exception.